Calibration no longer required, and welcome to another episode of Final Thoughts and Analysis Part 4. That works. So, earlier today, I was taking a shower, and in the shower, I keep listening to songs in my head, and there was this one particular song that kept finding its way into my thoughts. It's not really a song, it's more like a music. In particular, the instrument, it was a piano. And it's the piano of the very beginning of the opening of RWBY, right? And I wish I could play it for you, but it's the one that goes dun 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 dun. Right, something like that. It's when it's the narrator or the voice, which from my understanding is Salem, right? Um, when she's talking and she's kind of like explaining the history of mankind ever since he was born. Okay, so apparently mankind was born on Remnant, and so anyway, so let me explain to you my thinking process of what happened while I'm soaping myself up in the shower and I'm just listening to these things in my mind. So I'm listening to the piano song and I'm remembering sentences and words of what Salem is talking about, right? And it starts off since again, I don't remember it word for word, but it starts off by saying since mankind was born from darkness, I think it was, um, the creatures of Grimm turned his sights on man and his creation, and it seemed that he was destined to go back to to the darkness, to where he came from, like snuff him out or whatever. But um, and then he said, then she says that he found a way to defend himself, and 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 I'm there, I'm soaping myself up, and then this particular line that crossed my mind was when she said, appropriately named dust. Right? And at first glance, you don't really think much about that, but why exactly? Why exactly would she word it like that? And then I got lost in this line of thought, and I'm thinking to myself now as I'm shampooing my head, and I'm thinking to myself, appropriately named dust. Why is it appropriate to call that energy dust? And then the piano comes back into my mind, and I start listening to the song again. Da-da-da-da-dun, dun. And it's stuck. I'm kind of like stuck in that loop, thinking about this. And for some reason, the piano made me feel sad because it's like a very somber toned piano, and it made me feel sad. And you know, and I'm standing there resuming my shower procedure, and as I'm thinking of sad moments in RWBY, you know, I came across this particular scene in which a particular red-haired character dies. Now, at first, everything was happening so fast and all at once that I didn't really quite grasp the way that this character died. And besides being, for some reason, I don't know why my mind works this way, but I thought about John Bon Jovi right now, and she died shot through the heart, but with an arrow. All right, and as she's dying, Cinder comes up, holds her face, and either incinerated her or she just became, ashes. And then everything kind of like starts falling into place, or at least what I was thinking about, and it started making more sense. Appropriately named dust. No one knows where exactly it comes from, but it's in Remnant. It exists. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Now, as I'm thinking about this, I'm trying to now find reasons why this is not true or not the case, as to dust itself is just life energy when it perishes, condensed into dust. And then this dust, over time, kind of like diamonds in a way, compresses into crystals, and it still has that energy. But then when people are using it for either powering up machinery or forms of energy or mechanisms of defense or the elements to control the elements, right? Because in the what was it, in the Remnant video, the dust one, it has the guy that he's like holding it, and the voice is saying, some of them are capable of wielding it in its natural form, and it's showing him like either, I forgot if he was sending out the lightning bolts or if lightning bolts were coming into him or her. It was a more like a him silhouette, um, or her. Man, I'm so jumbled up right now. My thoughts are like all over the place because I'm still in the process of piecing these two things together. But um, what I'm getting at, the thought that I'm thinking about right now is that, and it kind of like, the world of Remnant. Why Remnant? Why that particular name? Because it's what it used to be, is what's left, is what remains, the remnant. Um, what are exactly the implications of what I'm trying to say is, what does it all mean? Appropriately named dust, right? So when people perish, do they automatically turn into dust? Or was it because Cinder was right there that she cremated Pyrrha on the spot because her element is fire? She likes fire. Um, I'm not sure. Maybe the connection here that I'm trying to make is completely off point. But why would that voice say appropriately named dust? Dusty ship? Man, I'm even second guessing myself right now because I'm not exactly sure it's if that's the correct phrase. But when there's music involved, I'm able to produce words a bit more clearer when I'm remembering things, and and it's that one particular phrase. appropriately named dusts. That kind of like stayed with me, and it made me question it. Why appropriately named? You know, so so we're doing it. We're gonna do this because I need to confirm this for myself. So I'm gonna pull up. Hold on a second. Let me see if I remember where it was. I'm gonna pull up that first episode of Volume 1. Yep, I got it. I got it. Oops, no, that's too big. Let's put this here. Hold on. Let me open it. Let me open it first. And then I can, because it shows some personal information on the little link bar where the things are. So I'm going to pop this open here. And I'm going to minimize this guy. And then I'm going to close this window. Because that should be good, right? We're good? We're good? Yeah, we're good. All right, let me minimize this window up to here. And yeah, let's put this guy down here. Boop. All right, so here we go. Here's the opening. I'm doing it. I'm watching it again. I'm sorry, but I need to confirm this. So here we go.
Legends. Stories scattered through time. Mankind has grown quite fond of recounting the exploits of heroes and villains, forgetting so easily that we are remnants, byproducts of a forgotten past. Man,
Oh
born
man,
from dust, was strong, wise, and resourceful.
born from
But
dust.
he was born into an unforgiving world. An inevitable darkness, creatures of destruction, the creatures of Grimm, set their sights on man and all of his creations. These forces clashed, and it seemed the darkness was intent on returning man's brief existence to the void. However, even the smallest spark of hope is enough to ignite change. And in time, man's passion, resourcefulness, and ingenuity led them to the tools that would help even the odds. This power was appropriately named dust.
There's the piano.
Nature's wrath in hand, man lit their way through the darkness. And in the shadow's absence came strength, civilization.
All right, I'm stopping it there. I'm stopping it there. Stop. No more. Okay. Where's this guy? Okay, so there it is. Appropriately named dust. And now I even heard more that I don't think I was supposed to hear because I already watched this, but remnants, byproducts of a forgotten time. Oh my goodness. And he was born from dust. So it is that. Dust, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. We all come. Oh my goodness. But what does it all mean? What are the implications with this? The world of Remnant, because we are byproducts of a forgotten time. Time of legends, tales. Man, and I'm thinking now of that song with those lyrics, which I have right here, which I'm going to pull up. Because we still are in the final thoughts and analysis of Volume 3. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to open this up, and we're going to resume what we were doing previously. And we're going to study these lyrics because we're still here. Let me see if I can fix this. Whoop, no, what am I doing? I moved the entire... Look at the void behind my desktop. It's just nothingness. There's nothing behind my desktop. That's so weird. Alrighty, no, that's not what I want. I want to put this... Stop it. Not that guy, this guy. I want you to be... What was it down here? Yeah, because that gives me the chance to scroll one by one. Okay, so that's good. Alrighty. So let's revisit these songs really quick because I just have all this brand new information that is just it's bothering me in a way. It's crazy. We are remnants, we are byproducts, remnants of a world forgotten. I wish I had a camera in the shower so you could see so you could have seen the thought process. I would have spoken out loud so that would know. Actually, no, that's my personal private time. Never mind. I'm getting carried away here. I'm sorry, but I'm thinking about this and okay. So when it falls, I had said that what was gonna fall was the the charade, the illusion, because in the beginning we just heard it right now, and this kind of like confirms a little bit of what I'm going with. They easily forget. So it's like, yeah, that's how it used to be. Yeah, that's how it started. But it's easy for us not to remember these things. And because of that, we start creating this illusion. You know, I wonder if the characters nowadays know where dust comes from, if they know where what exactly is the dust company, the Schnee Dust Company, the most powerful dust company, the biggest dust company, you know? And I'm thinking about Flint. Flint said, "Hey, you're Schnee, right? Pretty good with dust." Yeah, I think it was my father or my grandfather was pretty good with dust. He had a little shop until your big company drove him out of business. Nature's wrath in hand, but mankind was born from dust. Oh, what does this mean? Okay, so we're born from dust. We found dust. Dust allows us. Well, that must mean if we were born from dust, then that must mean that dust was there before us. But we're remnants. We are byproducts. So we're the leftovers. We're after the reaction, you know, after whatever happened, we're the byproduct. But then let's go really quick here. Let me scroll here to divide. I think it's here. Da 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 dun dun dun. Here we go. Legends and fairy tales scattered in time, maidens and kingdoms wrapped up in a lie. Legends and fairy tales scattered in time. Hmm. Legends and fairy tales scattered in time. We are byproducts now. So maybe. I don't know where to go with this, but the thoughts that I'm getting, the alignment that I'm trying to produce here, or that's being produced in my mind, based on how I'm thinking about this, is let me read these lines really quick again. I gotta use the mouse. Here we go. Divide. Does it feel good knowing you tried, knowing that all that remains is the slow, cold, brutal death of fools that will all die in vain? How does it feel knowing all your efforts will fail, all that you've built will be torn down, the hope of your people assailed? What is this hope? What is it that people are looking for? I'm getting there. I'm getting there, and the questions that I'm getting is, or the thoughts that I'm getting is, okay, all right, so we're byproducts, or the people. I'm including myself because I like to think I'm involved in this, and that's why I sometimes talk in first person. We. Me, I. So so we're byproducts. We're living in Remnant, which is a world of remains. It's what's left, right? And mankind was born from dust, right? And as he was born from dust, the creatures of Grimm came in, and they're all trying to, turn him back, send him back to darkness. Now, when you when you kill Grimm, after a while the body kind of like dissolves, turns to dust. If you try to contain a Grimm, eventually they weaken and they start dying and they turn into dust. So, the creatures of Grimm, the creatures of darkness. I know I mentioned that they were like this sort of antibody targeting things that are not supposed to be there. But what is it exactly that they want? Why is it that they're targeting? Is it because because since man was born from dust, the creatures of Grimm set their sights on him and all of his creations. So structures, trains, um, antennas, all these things, everything, anything that man builds, you know, the creatures of Grimm set their sights onto it and try to attack it and tear it down, return it to nothingness. So why is it that in this world, and then we clearly see we clearly see that it's so easy for Grimm to develop presence because it doesn't matter how many of them you eliminate. Gosh, excuse me. It doesn't matter how many of them you eliminate. There's still always more. And there's still more creatures. And clearly, based on the comments that I was reading, the dragon, also known as Kevin, I believe they call it, um, he's just sweating hate and popping up Grimm. And I remember that I mentioned that was he like sweating inside the mountain, and there are these rivers where Grimm just keep coming out of, right? And that's how Grimm are created. They're kind of like created from nothing based on what we saw, just dragon sweat and dust, structure, something, wherever it fell, it just came out. So far, I don't think we've seen anybody actually besides Pyrrha. We haven't really seen. I hate to sound not crude or anything like that, but the word I'm looking for is uh, whatever. We haven't seen a body, right? We haven't seen. I mean, during the attack and people getting hurt, we've seen people fall down and we see them lay there, or we just see the Grim pile on top of somebody and just like do the killing strike. But we haven't really seen corpses. We haven't seen, or at least I can't remember, bodies, or at least nothing is popping out that says like, yeah, there's a body over here. Um, or at least we don't linger around it long enough to see what happens to it. Does it stay there? Because I know they have, you know, graves, but the graves are symbolic because I'm thinking about Summer Rose. Um, she left for a mission and never came back, and she's presumed dead. But if she never came back, then there's no body, so the grave is an empty grave used symbolically, right? Yeah, I mean, I don't think we've seen a corpse or a body just lingering around there for a while. So we don't know exactly what happens. Do they actually return to dust immediately upon perishing? Do they actually just do what Pyrrha did when she died? Or was it because Cinder was there that she accelerated the process and incinerated her and completely cremated her on the spot? Or maybe was that there just to mislead us and make us think that it was Cinder that caused Pyrrha's body to just turn to ashes, leaving only her crown behind? It's very possible because if a body dies and just the body returns to dust, then I guess the clothing and the armor would stay behind, but the headband did stay behind. Gosh, where am I going with this? I don't know. So what does it all mean? We're byproducts of a forgotten time, of legends and great things. Here we have legends, excuse me, we have, no, this is not it. Here we go. Scroll. Legends and fairy tales scattered in time, maidens and kingdoms wrapped up in a lie. So when it falls is the illusion. Oh, I'm okay. Let me reel myself back in. Where I was going with this is, what is it that they want to achieve? What is it that they want to accomplish? If we're byproducts of a forgotten tale in time, if we're what's left of what used to be, right? Then perhaps we wish to go back to what was once, to what once, to what once was. Yes, I'm going with that. To what once was. Um so maybe they like the lifestyle that they currently have, where they're comfortable, protected in their cities, right? But maybe they're not meant to be that way. Maybe they're there temporarily, fleeting. Maybe this place is like a limbo slash hell in a way. Maybe the world of Remnant is what it used to be. It's the byproduct of another world that existed, which could be perhaps our world, perhaps another parallel world that has similarities but where Grimm don't exist. Because if it's a world of darkness and you're just there aimlessly walking around in the dark, that sounds like a place of punishment, a place of penalty. Either limbo or either either hell. And perhaps we might not know this, but perhaps it's as soon as you die, you kind of like go back to dust and then are reborn from dust, and you repeat your cycle again until you die, either by the creature or Grimm, which is what's supposed to happen, right? Maybe mankind is dealing with something that they're not supposed to be dealing by tapping into the life source of where they come from in dust, in looking in a way to fight back, to defend themselves, because they're tired of just bloop, you're born, hey, here's your payment, or here's your penalty, cut, you die, painful, brutal death, or whatever, right? They have their semblance, though. Are they born automatically with their semblance? Do they do this ritual where they're able to unlock their semblance, or at least their aura? Is what I meant to say, not semblance, aura. Excuse me. Are they born automatically with their aura, um, or is it something that they have to discover, feel within them, and then tap into it to activate it, and then be able to withstand these things that would normally kill a mere human, so to say? Because every living thing has an aura. Every soul has an aura, right? So, is it on from the beginning? Because John's wasn't on, but then again, he didn't really. Or maybe was it on? Gosh, I need to organize these things better. These thoughts of mine are just all over the place, and I can't quite grab the pieces that I need to grab from and put them in a layout that I can kind of like understand. Okay, so Yeah, so Pyrrha was unlocking his aura. It's like a force field. Yeah, that's one way to think about it. But anyway, um, yeah, so eventually, the thoughts that I'm getting here is that they're born from dust. As a man, I'm not sure. As a baby, I'm not sure. As if they're born as babies, who was there before them to care for them? You know, because they're born from dust. What is their origin story? Goodness. I don't have details. I couldn't start piecing these things together. Yeah, oh, it's 10:30. Okay. And I have an appointment at 11. Darn it. Okay, so I should have thought about all these things before I started recording. I just wanted to get this out there. Mm. These children you mislead. These children you mislead. So, who was first? Who was in charge of these children that are being misled? Strength will not bring you victory, so no matter how strong you are, you won't win. Hmm. Slaughter is coming, the end is drawing near. You'll regret your deeds. You'll regret fighting the system. You'll regret standing up for yourselves. You'll regret what? What is it that you did? How did it all start? Form your armies and dream your dreams. You have nothing. Make your plans and plot your schemes. Send your fighters all in one. Then watched him. Then in battle watched him fall. With your dark Cid cruel design and convinced him that the world could be saved. I'm telling you, this the more I listen to this, the more I read this, the more I think to myself that the thing that wanted to be changed was that this is a penalty. This world, this remnant, this byproduct of what how it used to be is I don't know what it is. It's a place of penance. It's a place of strife, struggle, right? And the creatures of Grimm are there to like, you know, boop, you're in Remnant now, and here's your penalty. Here, it repeats again, and you're kind of like stuck in that loop for who knows how long, eternity maybe, until eventually you become self-aware, perhaps, and you're like, you know what? Why are we here? Why are we keep suffering like this? Why are we like? Why don't we do something different? Why don't we find a way to defend ourselves? How? I don't know, but we gotta find something. Hey, look, this element here, this metal, this rock, throw it at that creature when it's coming. Excuse me, when it's coming to attack us. Hey, it worked. Great. Now what do we do? Well, let's make some more rocks. Here, we got an army of rocks. Okay, here they come. Plop, plop, plop. Good. Now what do we do? These rocks, man, they get tiring. My arm hurts. How about we do some sticks, And then it just keeps progressing from there. And you stand up. You want to stop the cycle. And you build your cities now. And you start building shelters to defend yourselves from. And then you found dust with nature's wrath in hand, and you're now able to 100% defend yourself effectively, right? Not 100%, but much better. You increase your chances substantially. So you build your city, you build your things, you form your armies, you dream your dreams, you make your plans and you plot your schemes, right? And then you tell them, right? You tell them, where was it? Knowing that your efforts will fail, you trying to fight back, everything is going to be torn down. Everything that you're building, the hope of your people will be assailed. Um, form your armies, dream your dreams, make your plans, plot your schemes, and then your dark, sick, cruel design. So this dream, this hope that was given to everybody to create their kingdoms, to start fighting back, right? This dream, this hope, and you convinced them that their world could be saved. In other words, you said, listen, we don't have to keep dying over and over and over again. We can actually make a change. These are probably like the first humans, the first man born from dust. And then they fought back, they established themselves, they built the kingdoms, right? And when they built the kingdoms, they realized, hey, we're not dead yet, we're not repeating that cycle. Maybe now we can reproduce. And then they start having children, which is probably something that's not meant to happen. You're not meant to have children. You're just there to be born, suffer, and die. Because it's a penance. It's a place of strife. It's a place of despair. It's either a limbo or a hell, right? But we can change our destiny. We can. Oh, do you believe in destiny? Yes. And then she gets serious because, oh man, goodness. Gosh, I wish I had more time. It's 10:42. I really gotta get ready. I will continue this. I will, because this is crazy. This, I really need to sit here and really, really, with these new thoughts, come and go through this thing again. Anyway, I gotta get dressed. Thank you so much. I gotta bring up my screen. Boop, there it is. And bring this up here, and boop. That's good. Alrighty. Yeah. Yeah, alright. And button here. Let's make it more professional looking. Tuck. There you go. Alright. Button on the button. Here we go. Thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate all your support and everything that you guys do. I really do. Yeah. I'll leave it here. I'll see you guys in the next video, which would be hopefully later on today. So take care and bye-bye. ふわふわふわふわふわふわりぐるぐるぐるぐるぐるぐる回るのふわふわふよふよふわふわりうるるくるくるふわふわ飛び出したの